Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Shauna Bell. I'm from SBell Wellness, and I wanted to join you tonight to share about the top oils. There's really about top 10 oils. I probably would say I probably have closer to 15 in my oils that I would consider top, and I consider my top ones the ones that I definitely use every day or at least every week in routine somehow. So we'll get started with that in a moment here, but I do want to mention that, I have such a passion for these. I definitely spend a lot of time researching and looking into these things, but I do want to put that disclaimer out there. I'm not a physician. So if you do have questions about them, I hope that you feel comfortable being able to speak with your physician about those oils for your wellness. I also try to stay compliant in the language that I use to discuss them, so you won't really hear me talk about specific illness or disease, that sort of thing. I'm kind of really stick with what we might be noticing in the body. And so if there's something that you're dealing with, we certainly could have a private conversation to dig into that a little bit more. So these are doTERRA oils that I'm talking about. So, just to recap on some of that, the quality of these oils really matter. And so it's really great to have these certified pure therapeutic grade oils to make sure that we are getting the best properties that we want to see them perform to support our wellness. And then I think the really cool thing about doTERRA is not only are they empowering us to be well, but they're also taking care of the families and the communities where these plants grow. So, a lot of times these plants are growing in communities that are more impoverished nations. And so it's very great to see that they, bring fresh water, they bring schools and hospitals and homes and all kinds of wonderful things to the people who work very hard to harvest and take care of these plants so that we can benefit from them. So that's kind of a big driving force of why I chose doTERRA in the first place. So I always like to mention that when there's so many different options out there, the quality and the love for people is really why I think doTERRA is a really great choice. We can take these oils and use them aromatically. So of course we can diffuse them. You can wear them on jewelry, even just grabbing the bottle sometimes and taking in, that can be very supportive. We can take them internally. You do want to make sure that you check your bottle. So every bottle that you can take internally would have supplemental facts right on the bottle, just like a vitamin bottle will have, so that you know that those have been tested to take internally. I'll talk about a few of those tonight. So just always make sure you're checking that. There's lots of resource books out there that we like to use, but I always say just double check with the bottle to make sure there haven't been any updates that might have been missed in some of the resources. And then topically, so we can use oils topically. It's always a good idea if you're not sure of your skin sensitivity, those kind of things, making sure you're diluting oils. Again, checking the bottle, it definitely will give you any precautions that you want to take as far as dilution or ones that you might want to avoid using topically on sun-exposed skin. So again, rule of thumb, just check those bottles. It'll definitely tell you how to use them. To get started, I want to talk about frankincense. So frankincense is, all things cellular level support. So think about some things that might be going on for you, brain health sort of things, any sort of growths or memory care, mood support. Those are all great things to grab frankincense for. Pain and inflammation, I love to use frankincense if I know I've got some really bad head tension that can support. It's been super helpful for breast health. So if you're dealing with any sort of abnormalities there or things going on that you're concerned about, I use that daily care, and that has really been a change and some things for me. So definitely something to look into if that's going on for you. So that's frankincense. If you think all things cellular, kind of think about that brain health, pain and inflammation, that's a good one to make sure you have around. Next up on the list is lemon. So lemon has wonderful cleansing properties. if you can think about that for cleaning the home, but then also cleaning and supporting the body in that way. So just to talk about a couple of my favorite ones, this lemon has been amazing actually for cleaning sticky surfaces. So I often am using like Velcro to make visuals and things like that in my job. And that really leaves kind of sticky residue on the scissors. And I was just so amazed at how just a drop of lemon was able to remove that. So definitely grabbing that for any sort of sticky things that you want to remove. I also use lemon as part of my toilet bowl cleaner. So I use just baking soda. So I just actually have a jar of baking soda and just use a scoop of the baking soda. And I'm not really a measure person. So I use Castile soap, and I just have a squirt of that, a scoop of the baking soda, and then a couple drops of lemon in there. Let that sit for a little bit and use the toilet bowl brush. And it is just so amazing how it can clean that toilet so effectively without the use of chemicals, which is such a celebration in our home. Just from some hard water things that we had going on. And my husband was like, I don't know that we'll ever stop using bleach. And I was determined that we would remove those toxins from our home. And this blend that I've talked about here has really done that for us. And then cleansing the body. So lemon has really great detox properties. So if you drop lemon into your water, all you need is a drop, really. You do want to make sure you're using like a glass container or a stainless water bottle to do that, just so it doesn't break down any sort of plastics that you might use. But great for detoxing, naturally detoxing. We're exposed to a lot of things in our environment, so it's a great way to do that. And also very supportive for the digestive system too. So drinking that in water is helpful. Next up is lavender. So lavender, just think all things soothing and relaxing. If you get some skin irritations, lavender is like the best one to grab and go to. It is a neat oil, which means you can put it on without diluting it. Again, just being mindful of your own skin. And then, like for me, I've had some, food intolerances, those kind of things that I deal with in my life. And I know if I get exposed to something that my body didn't care for, I might kind of get some skin irritations. And I just grab my lavender and put that on, soothes right away. Bug bites. That's super helpful. It's a really great oil to soothe irritability. One of those ones that I would grab the bottle and just, take a big breath in to help with that. And then sleep. So, diffusing it or putting it on topically for sleep is definitely a great one, and a very supportive one for across the ages too. The kids really respond well to that one too. All right, don't want to miss anything with my notes here. So Melaleuca is up next. Melaleuca, if you think about skin cleansing, it's very helpful for breakouts, just diluting it a little bit. I actually like to use almond oil on the skin as a carrier oil with some of the oils I might use on my skin or on my facial skin. And then it's really great for dry scalp, so you can actually add a drop to shampoo that you might be using. Really great for any sort of skin infections, skin fungus that might be going on, any sort of throat infections that you or the kids might deal with. Melaleuca is a really great one for that. So if you can kind of think everything skin clearing, supporting of infection, it's really got some nice anti-bacterial properties to it. Next up is oregano. So oregano is very potent. It has very good cleansing properties as well. I have a story that I always like to share about my cleaning with oregano that I did by accident. I meant to put Melaleuca in my mop bucket, and I dropped oregano in there and didn't realize until I was mopping and my house smelled like spaghetti. So it really does cleanse, but I'm not sure that mopping with it is the way that you want to do that. It's super cleansing for the body. So, you know, against bacterial and viral infections, any sort of tough coughs that might be going on, throat infections. How I use it more regularly is if I know that I'm going to be around some people who might be sick, then I'll add it to my immune roller that I use daily. And so I have one that I use daily on the bottoms of my feet. I have oregano in a roller bottle by itself, and I'll just layer that on if I know that maybe I'm going to be exposed to that. Oftentimes, being a school therapist, I will kind of use that strategically. So if I have been away from school for a little bit and I know I'm going back into that environment, then those would be the days that I would add that layer on. Because it is potent, you don't want to have it in a daily use, but it certainly is good to use when we're really needing that extra boost. All right, so peppermint is up next. Peppermint is so cooling. The way that I like to use peppermint probably the most is two things actually. One, on the drop of the thumb. So I do that for head tension. I put on the drop on my thumb and push my thumb to the roof of my mouth. Super soothing right away. Really kind of zaps that head tension. Is a really cool way to get that quick support. And then in my shampoo, so I actually put a drop of peppermint in my shampoo almost daily. Actually, it's really kind of invigorating in the morning, especially if there's any sort of head tension going on, any sort of seasonal respiratory kind of thing going on. Having that in the shower environment is super helpful. And then it's also really nice to soothe sore muscles. So just adding that in, you would want to dilute that with a carrier oil or a lotion. I would recommend like an unscented lotion to use that for massage. Breathe. So Breathe is definitely a daily use in our home. We use Breathe in our diffuser every night. And we combine that with a couple other ones I'll mention that we kind of trade out for sleep. But it really is great for really opening up those airways. And so any of you that might have a snorer in the house, this has been super helpful to kind of open those airways and support that need by diffusing it. And the properties of some of the oils in this blend also really help to the body to rest. And so it's really a nice combination of allowing us to breathe well for sleep and then calm and rest. Next up is Deep Blue. So Deep Blue is our soothing blend. This one is really great for aches and pains that might be happening. I tend to use this one in a roller bottle after exercise. So if you've got some lower back things or some, like I know runners like to use it after running, because it really can kind of penetrate through those muscles and joints and really give us that soothing effect that we're looking for. Digest Zen is next. Digest Zen is just all things belly support. So super helpful for the digestive system, any sort of things going on, nausea, bloating, anything going on with the belly. I like to use this in a roller bottle, just roll it around on the abdomen, especially the belly button area is very helpful to really kind of soothe. I actually can't believe how quickly the response is in the body when something's going on, feeling that irritation and rolling this on. So that one is definitely good to have around, especially with kids, so that if any of those belly aches come up, then they can also feel empowered that they can not have to deal with that as well. On Guard is up next. So On Guard with doTERRA, we have tons of products that have the On Guard protective blend in them. This one is really what you're going to lean on for your immune health. So like I mentioned earlier, my immune roller, this is the base of it. Really making sure that we can support our healthy immune system and keep ourselves well. I try not to say out loud, but I think that since I started using it, I have been sick way less personally. So I definitely know that the power is there. It really is helping. You know, it's really great to make an all-purpose cleaning spray with it. So just, you know, using a glass spray bottle and then putting those drops with some filtered or distilled water can really help as an all-purpose cleaner. And then it really has powerful properties for gum health. So there's toothpaste and mouthwash to check in on that. Before the mouthwash came out, I actually would just kind of do a rinse with water and a drop of On Guard. So that's something you definitely could give a try too. Definitely had better dental checkups after starting to use that. All right, so that is actually the top 10 oils. I do want to share 4 other ones that I feel are kind of what I would consider in those top ones as well. Aroma Touch. Aroma Touch is our massage blend. This one is another one that's really good for that, you know, post-workout sort of thing. Really great for tension, post-work stress relief. I have found it to be super, super relieving for menstrual cramps and just any kind of tension going on. Just applying it with a carrier oil as a massage. It's a really soothing way to support. And then Balance, which if you've been following along, you probably know that this is probably my top oil. Balance is just, you know, when you're feeling like your mind can't stop and you've got a lot of things going on, thoughts are bouncing around, it's really a great one to kind of bring you back, ground you, really help settle. So I use this one on the bottoms of my feet at night. I'll be honest with you, I put it in a roller bottle, diluting it and putting it on, and I missed a little bit of some of the grounding feelings I was feeling as getting it straight from the bottle. So I've gone back to that. There's already fractionated coconut oil in it. So I just take it straight from the bottle, a couple of drops, massage that on the bottoms of my feet every night. And it just really is amazing of how much it can settle. I am a thinker, and I know that I kind of think through my day and what's coming next and that sort of thing. And this oil has really allowed me to see something completely different in my sleep routines. So I definitely consider that one a top choice oil, must have around. Serenity. So I talked about earlier how Breathe is always in the diffuser at night, and Serenity is too for us. So Serenity is a blend of so many oils that are calming and relaxing. It's got lavender in there, vetiver, Roman chamomile, cedar wood, just so many oils that we consider for sleep support, for relaxing. But I won't discount that it's not just for sleep either. Definitely being able to use it for mood support. So again, I talked about irritability a little bit before. You know, this might be a great one for some kiddos who might have some anger issues and those things going on as well. And adults is super helpful for us as well. And then the last one that I wanted to mention tonight is Wild Orange. Wild Orange has so many properties that it can support us with. A couple of the ones that I really like is supporting focus, kind of that getting through that afternoon slump. I like to actually have a roller bottle made up of peppermint and wild orange. So for a 10 milliliter bottle for an adult, I actually take 10 drops of each of those, peppermint and the wild orange, and then fill up the rest of the way with fractionated coconut oil. And that one I grab in the afternoon when I'm just feeling that afternoon slump and really want to support in a healthier way than grabbing an extra coffee or something like that. So that one is very helpful, and it really does support that brain health. And so really helping to manage attention. And then, believe it or not, it actually is supportive for sleep too, which sounds funny when we're like using it for, waking up and attention. But because it has those properties to support the brain, actually we kind of need our brain to kind of put that attention in for sleep. And so it actually, combining it with lavender or cedarwood, those have been really helpful for sleep. So I know that was a lot. Some of this is, you guys have probably heard before. If you're like me, like you just kind of have to hear it a lot to think, oh yeah, I wanted to try, that peppermint on my thumb for head tension, or that balance before going to bed. So that's definitely why I like to share this information again. So that's our top oils. If those of you watching after the fact, if you have an interest in figuring out what oils might be supportive for you and your family, or you're thinking how could you get started or that sort of thing, you can definitely jump on to the website, which is sbellwellness.com. If you go, you can see there's a tab there for how to get started with doTERRA, and you can kind of look through the information there. And my contact is there as well. There's a phone number, email. Feel free to reach out to me so that I can support you with that. I do encourage you to follow along on Facebook. I will say that the logarithms on Facebook make it really hard to manage and make sure that people are seeing and learning from this information. So I do encourage you to like things if you like them, comment on them for sure, because that's what keeps it in so that you're seeing them on your feed. If you have questions, you can certainly message me, but please feel free to share your experiences that you have with oils. I do have a referral program going on, which is a super celebration for my 1 year with doTERRA. So I have some wonderful incentives going on. I have this really nice little trifold that explains the top oils, how to use them, what to use them for, how to get started, that sort of thing. And so I could certainly share those with you if that's something that you want to easily be able to share with your friends and family as well. And then I love to share some incentives for those referrals. And one last thing, if you ever feel like you would like to host a class, whether online or in person, I really love teaching in person actually. And so I'd love to have you do that and be able to learn more about the oils as well as earn some freebies and incentives. So if you or a family member or friend want to do that, reach out to me. We can kind of organize them based on what your thoughts are. So it doesn't just have to be about the basics of oil. If you're already using them, we can do them around emotional support or for cleaning, really kind of individualize the class for you and your guests. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I hope this was helpful information, and if there's anything that I can help you with, please reach out to me, and I will see you all next time. Take care.